Hello, my crafty friends, and welcome to another YouTube video. For this video, I am posting this for Altenew. So I'm still currently an Altenew ambassador. And with it, there is a coupon code, Jennifer Bundle. And this will apply to the Instant Dimension Foam Tape Bundle. That is the 4 sizes. And you will receive 30% off. For additional details on this code, please check out the description below. Okay, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You'll see I've got in my hand some crepe paper. Crepe paper is paper, but it's not the same as a cardstock or a copy paper. It's paper that actually stretches. And we'll get into how you can work this paper and mold it as we move forward. I am going to be using the Butterfly Ranunculus layering die set. That is a craft of flower that is brand new. Now you'll notice I've got some crepe paper laid down. I've got some green. I was initially going to use crepe paper for the leaves and stems, but I decided not to do that just because the leaves and stems are so thin. It would just be, there's a lot of work that goes into those petals, and to include the leaves and stems, I feel like one, it wouldn't matter if you used regular cardstock or if you used the crepe paper, because the crepe paper is not going to give me that additional dimension I'm looking for just because it's so thin. I mean, it might, but I just don't think it's worth it. So this is a double-sided crepe paper. I don't want to get into the different types of crepe paper. I've got a video and a blog post for that. Please check that out. But I am going to be using double-sided crepe paper. One side is more of a peach, and the other side is a really beautiful light pink. Now, I'm only going to be using 2 of the flowers. The one flower is going to be that wide open flower that you can kind of see head on. The other flower is going to be the flower that you see kind of from the side, maybe a little bit below, but those are the 2 I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the other one. I just don't think it's necessary. It would take up too much room on my card panel. So I'm going to run all of this through regular cardstock, and I'm using a fairly heavyweight cardstock. And the reason I'm doing that is because, more specifically for the petals, that is going to be my template. The leaves and stems, we're just going to ink blend those and use those on our card panel. But all of the petals and all of the layers of the petals are going to be my template to cut my crepe paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the guide, and the guide is a huge help. I did overthink all of this just a little bit, right? Because I want to make sure that I mark each layer. I do think that's important. But what I also did is I marked each individual petal. And it's just not necessary when you're working layer by layer and you have the guide on hand. Now, before I get started, I need to trim off some of my crepe paper. And what I like to do is take kind of the longest petal that I have for this particular flower, and then I cut my crepe paper slightly larger. Now, because this cardstock is my template for the crepe paper, I'm cutting away petals from each other because I need the individual petals so I can cut them out, because I want to cut them in the same shape as what the die cut is. So you'll notice this is layer 1 I'm working with right now, and you'll notice that I wrote 1L, 1C, 1R, and that means layer 1 left side, layer 1 center, layer 1 right. Again, I don't think it's necessary that you do that, but you can, because like I said, the guide is a huge help for that. So now I'm coming in with the next petal and just trimming all along my template with that crepe paper. This crepe paper has one side peach, one side light pink. We're going to be using the lighter pink side for our flower. Once I've cut out my crepe paper with my template, I keep that petal in the crepe paper with its template. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the baby pink fresh dye ink and a mini blending brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color to all of my petals. Just a reminder, keep in mind this is a double-sided crepe paper, so we want to make sure that we ink up the right side of the petal. First time I did this, one of my petals, I inked up the wrong side. It's not a big deal. I have that template handy. I just cut myself another petal and ink blended that. Okay, so now we're going to move forward with actually putting the flower together with our crepe paper petals. So what you'll see me do here is I'm cutting a small circle because I need something on the base to hold my petals, and just a little circle to glue the petals on works just fine. So what I'm doing here is I've taken the petal from the first layer that still has that keyhole, and I'm marking the keyhole on my little platform for my petals. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my petal, and this is the beauty of crepe paper. So I'm stretching not the very top of the petal, but just below the top of the petal, and you can also run your fingernail under it just to give it a little bit more curl. So crepe paper can make your flowers look very realistic. And it can make them look, especially if you use a fine crepe paper, it can make them look more delicate. Or if you use a heavy crepe paper, it can make them look a little heavier. Again, it depends on what you're doing. There's a lot to crepe paper, but we're going to stick to this now. Now, of course, you do not have to use double-sided crepe paper. You can use any kind of crepe paper you like. Crepe paper streamers, I don't recommend because one, they're extremely fragile and they have minimal stretch. The crepe paper I'm using is specifically for crepe paper flower making. So what you saw in the video, and I was kind of blabbing over top of that, what you saw in the video is I glued down my first petal, but it was a little bit too long. So I just pulled it off because I'm using liquid glue. I would recommend liquid glue just because you have a little bit more time. I pulled it off, trimmed the base of that petal, and just glued it back down. And I do apologize about my little bonnet on my head getting in the way. So I apologize about that, but I do need to get in close. And so what I'm doing here is this petal was a little bit too long as well. So I just trimmed that off. The beauty with crepe paper is it's very forgiving. Okay. If you need to mold or cut a little extra off, that is fine. It's always better to be a little bigger than a little too small. So here I am again. You can see I'm just pulling that paper apart, and this is what we call cupping. So I'm just cupping the petal. That gives that petal a little bit more dimension. Now, using the guide as well as my template, I'm able to line up where these petals are supposed to go and glue it down. Okay, so I'm going to speed things up here because I think you can not only see what I'm doing, but kind of have an understanding of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I've got my first layer set up and ready to go. All right, now I'm going to come in with the second layer. Again, you can see my guide is open on my right side. Now, because I have drawn in my keyhole, I'm able to see where the next keyhole is supposed to go. Now, this layer has a lot of petals to it. I think this layer had 5 petals to it. So this layer took a little bit more time. With that being said, once I did a couple of layers, this moved really quickly. Like it just became like I understood what I needed to do. Like my brain kind of just fell into the pattern and understood how this was all going to work. So I hope this isn't too confusing for you. I hope you can give this a try. It does take a little bit more time because we're individually cutting each petal. I did put some thought into cutting the pieces of crepe paper and die cutting the crepe paper. And you can die cut crepe paper. I don't recommend like a magic mat or a soft cutting mat. You do want a hard cutting plate if you're going to cut crepe paper. But I feel like it probably would take the same amount of time because you have to line up. And maybe I should discuss this because I haven't really talked about this yet. The grain, so those lines on the paper that you see, like on the petal, that is called the grain. That is the grain of the paper. That is what allows us to cup those petals. So that grain has to be going up and down on the petals, right? Because if the grain, let's say, was going horizontal, you would be cupping top to bottom, and that's usually not how the flower petals look, right? The flower petals are usually bigger at the top of the petal and they curl. And again, that's what crepe paper does. So you want to make sure that those lines, the grain, go up and down. So from the bottom to the top. So when you pull the paper apart, that grain splits and gives you that cupping. Now, once all of your petals are adhered, you can take a look at your flower, and if you need to do any additional molding or even trimming, because I'm actually going to pull this up, and that one, and I actually think it's the first petal I glued down, it looks a little big. So I'm just going to come in with my scissors and just trim a little bit of that off. Not a big deal. Now, once my flower is together, I'm going to adhere my centers, and I'm just using standard cardstock for my centers. I'm ink blending with some ginger root and umber shadow, and I'm just going to glue those down. I'm doing my best to understand where, that keyhole is, but I'm really not too worried about it lining up. I mean, who's going to know? I don't even know. All right, so the first flower is completed. We're going to move on to the second flower. I do the same thing. It's the keyhole system. I draw that or shade in that keyhole kind of on my little base / platform I've got for my petals. And I just work from the first layer all the way up to that last layer. And of course, with this one, there is no center. There's actually some sepals that need to go on. All right, so I'm going to skip over a lot of the second flower. I basically use the same technique. I use that base. What you saw me cut off there was just part of that base that wasn't covered with the flower petals, and I don't want that showing. So we're going to move on to the greenery. So I just pulled out some fresh dye inks. I'm only going to be using two. That's the Grassfield and Shadow Creek. I'm going to be using that on the sepals for this flower, and I'm going to be using that on the stems and the other leaves for my flowers as well. Now you can see how thin the stem and the leaves are and why I didn't use crepe paper, because I just don't think it would have added really any more interest to my card panel than my flowers. And again, I want my actual flowers to really kind of be the star of the show. Now to finish up this second flower, I'm just going to add the sepals. There is a keyhole system as well. I can't see my keyhole anymore. I didn't mark it, so I just used my guide to help me with my placement. So now I'm coming in with some crisp dye inks. I don't have the fresh ones for this yet, but this is probably my favorite grouping of inks. This is the Tranquility crisp dye ink, and these are just a beautiful blue. So I come in from the bottom and I start with a light color and try to get that light color in a lot of the space, just kind of moving up. And then I just change to the darker shades as I go. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little stamping with my 3D embossing folder. And this is the Tufted Elegance. This is a really beautiful embossing folder. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place my card panel on the front side, specifically for this embossing folder, and use a little cloud white ink on the back side. And then I'm just going to close it up and push down. And that's going to give me a kind of a nice distressed impression with that white cloud pigment ink. Okay, so what I did off camera, because this video is getting pretty long, is I just used a little bit of my foiling relief paste, mixed that with water and just did some splatters and then let that dry. Didn't take very long. And then just use some foil and put it over top, giving me a little bit more of a distressed background. I pulled a sentiment from the Enchanted Roses, stamped that with embossing ink, and then used the antique gold. And I'm just heat setting that here. I thought it was a nice complement to that brushed gold foil I used on the splatter. All right, here is the finished card panel. Just a reminder, check the description below for the coupon code, as well as a link to the supply list I used, my blog post if you want to take a look at still shots of this beautiful card panel.